Hello friends. Welcome to the 5. I'm out here doing freeway speeds, so I know my audio is gonna be shit right now. But there's a reason. And it's coming up here in 1 mile. We're going to exit 48. And this is where we're going to kick off our Explore Southern Oregon series. My intent here is a couple of times a month I'm going to bring you with me and I'm going to show you some of the crown jewels of Southern Oregon. The sparkling highlights. Little tidbits to motivate you to come out here and explore for yourself. And maybe sit back and have a beer with me while you're at it. But our first stop is going to be the city of Rogue River. Now that's actually the name, the city of Rogue River. Not because it is a city, but because they want to differentiate themselves from the river of the Rogue River. So this is the city. It's a quaint little town nestled here right on the banks of the Rogue River. Known as Woodville up until 1912, when the city was incorporated as the city of Rogue River. What's so great about this place? Well, for starters, as soon as you come into town, you're welcomed by a giant cock. That giant cock actually holds some valuable symbolism. So Old Town Americana used to be built on the backs of these festivals. Everybody in the town would get together and celebrate this, celebrate that. Every town had their own festival. You know, the basket festival, the pumpkin festival. Well, the city of Rogue River each summer has one called Rooster Crow. And there's food and there's booths and they set up little carnival rides, and this whole strip down here is just people as far as you can see. Now the backbone of that is the crowing of the roosters, a competition held. So on the right here is Rogue River Elementary School. On the left is Rogue River Middle School. And all of this is important, and the reason for starting here in Rogue River is because this is where the story starts. This is my hometown. I grew up roaming these streets here. I came of age. I got into trouble. I formed lasting, lifelong friendships. It's so crazy to see a 35 sign right there, because forever this was 25 all the way to the city limits, which are just a quick stop, skip, this stepping stone right around the corner here. But that's it. That's the entire town. There's a population of like 2,500 people. And the reason we're coming down this way is because of this house right here. 1033 Pine Street. That is my grandparents' old house. That is where they lived all the way up until 1998, when my grandfather passed away. And that is my childhood home. Even though I didn't have the opportunity of living in Rogue River the entirety of my childhood, being stuck in an active duty military family, I spent a lot of my childhood bouncing from military base to military base to military base. But the one stable thing in my life as a child was my grandparents' house. We would go back there for summers, we would go back there for unaccompanied tours that my stepdad was on, like where he'd go to Korea and the family couldn't go. We would come back, live with my grandparents until he got back. So that was the one stable thing in my life, is that house right there. And this was the last of my, school, my childhood schools, primary education, however you want to put it. Good old Rogue River High School. While I only attended it for 2 years, there's a lot of good memories of this place. And it's like, it hasn't changed. That giant ball field stadium looking thing, they've put that in since I went here, but the school has not. It is still the same old Rogue River High School that it's always been. I actually wouldn't be surprised if there are still teachers in there that were working here when I attended. A mere 23 years ago. That is, saying it out loud, it sounds like a really long time. Let's head back into town. For you, it'll be just a brief second. Back in town here, we have the Rogue Valley Community Church. Spent quite a bit of time here also. Not so much in the church, but actually passing by the church. Is the bridge closed? It kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Making noise. So, if we walk this way, past the tennis courts here, which look like they've been fairly newly refurbished up. I remember last time I came through here, it was pretty tore up. This looks fancy. This looks like that, like, composite rubber kind of stuff. Oh no, maybe it is open. So yeah, this is a suspension bridge. This new one is burly, it's big, it's freaking stout. So the original bridge in 1990, I spent so much time going across it, and it was like a true suspension bridge. It actually, you step on it and it would sink down, and it swayed back and forth, and it was fun. Our biggest challenge as kids was we would ride our bicycles across it. It would dip down and it would like almost slingshot you over to the other side. This new bridge doesn't look like it would like move at all, really. And it crosses the Evans Creek here. Which, oh my god, that's so different. So this is Palmerton Park on the other side here. And I spent so much time hanging out over here. Yeah, I smoked my first cigarette, smoked my first joint in this park. I I got drunk in this park a number of times. Not the first time, but like a number of times. And there used to be a big sandy bar right here. The grass would come down to a sandy bar, and then this was just a swimming hole. Like every summer, this would be packed with people. And yeah, this bridge like doesn't move at all. Well, maybe a little bit of wiggle. It's not nearly as fun as... So the original bridge, like the sign says, was washed away in 1997. And I actually bore witness to that. I was standing up here on the shore. The water came all the way up here to, like, it was lapping at the asphalt up here. The water of the creek was. And it was just screaming water through here. And the sound of the cables made when they snapped was just so eerie and weird, and just, I don't think I will ever be able to get that sound out of my brain. And it was actually over this way a little more. The original bridge kind of went that way. So they changed the where it landed, but yeah, they washed away in the 1997 flood. And I guess this one was built in 2001. That 1997 flood is the big reason that I joined the Army National Guard. So they actually had a Humvee set up on the bridge over the Rogue River. And they were keeping people from driving over, because the river was all the way up to the bridge. It was like on the bridge deck. And yet people were ignorant enough to want to drive over to the other side. Even though you could clearly see that the other side, the water was all the way up on the road. It was completely covering the road. Because the old bridge at the time, it went from one elevation to about 10 feet lower. So it kind of dropped down to the other side of the river. So I think the new bridge still does that. But the water was up to the bridge deck in the middle. So, of course, the other side was like way underwater. So they had to post, National Guard there. Keep people from being stupid. And I was wandering around town in the rain, looking at all the devastation and whatnot. And I ran into them. And I got to talking to them and what they were doing and what they do and who they were. And several months later, when I turned 17, I joined up myself. And the rest, I shall say, is history. Actually, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. There's a lot more history there. As we start visiting more places in Oregon, showing off all the things. Oh wow. All the traffic. Like all the traffic in town right here. Okay. So this is technically a no stoplight town, because this isn't really a stoplight, it's a walk light. And it has been here forever, mainly because the middle school doesn't have a cafeteria. So the middle schoolers have to walk across to the cafeteria, which is right here on the end of the elementary school. So that's why they put the light in there, so that all the classes of middle schoolers can walk back and forth without having to worry about getting run over by log trucks. Because Rogue River's stable livelihood for the longest time was the mill. We'll go out and we'll visit the mill. For the longest time, up until my early 20s, nothing changed in this town, like, at all. Definitely a whole lot of small town syndrome going on. Recently, you've got stuff like the General Dollar built there. The gas station that I'm going to go to, that was like the staple gas station for the longest time. That Chevron right there. I remember in middle school walking down to it to get like a candy before school. This bridge here is a fairly new, within the last 10 years or so, I think. The old bridge, the one that I see out higher on that end than it is on this end. So this isn't the old bridge. The old bridge was. I'll show you a picture of the old bridge. It used to be there. While I was sitting there hanging out with the National Guard guys talking about it, it was hit by a single wide mobile home. Which, yeah, that's another one of those noises that you can't get out of your brain. Somewhere upriver, a single wide mobile home had been washed into the river, and we got to watch it hit the old bridge, which I guess started the road to replacement. I have no idea how old the original bridge is. I'll throw up some numbers here if I can find them, but it had been here, the old green bridge had been here for as long as I can even remember. But if you are looking for a good slice of old-time Americana, hey, this is it. And not much has changed in this town in decades. We have all the old buildings. Most of these have been here for at least 40 years that I know for a fact. I mean, they still have an old Ace Hardware. Just a lot of the old buildings. They don't like to upgrade. They don't like to rebuild. So they just do a pretty good job of maintaining the old place. The old VFW. We used to have our Boy Scout meetings there. The new library, that's about 30 years old. This whole shopping center, so many birthday parties at Bocce's Pizza because they had like the best arcade games. My great-grandmother used to live up there, Sunny Slope Apartments. It's a like an elderly facility, retirement facility. And then I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Valerie Hills. My mother's sister and I lived up there for a while. But this here is the old mill, and that grassy field. I remember a time when it was just full of 30-foot high stacks of just lumber, just so many trees for as far as you could see. And now it's nothing, You see more cars parked at the farmer's garden, the farmer's market on a Friday than you do in this mill. Just because because, you know, all the regulations, all the everything. It's just killed the lumber industry, and pretty much that's what caused the town to just stop. That's why it's the same old town it was in the 60s and 70s. There's really nothing to do here. It's, you know, most of the people that live here are either retired. I think it's like 43% of the population of Rogue River is senior citizens, 60-ish and older. And then everyone else, they either work in Grants Pass or out in the greater Medford metro area, as if you could call a city the size of Medford a metro. It's definitely not metropolitan, but some people call it that because some of the little towns all run into each other. Central Point runs into Medford, and White City runs into Central Point. So many memories in this town. It is, you know, washing my 4x4 at that car wash after coming back from Wheeling out in Gold Hill. Gold Hill's another little town we're going to visit. From the town of Rogue River, you can leave in literally any direction at this point. We can go out North River Road here. You can go out the other side of the four-way intersection. You can go back over the bridge toward the, over the river. Or you can hop on the freeway. But any direction you go. If you keep going past the four-way intersection, so the four-way there is East Evans Creek Road, and then if you go down other side of the creek, you have West Evans Creek Road, and both of those head north-ish, and they go out to the town of Wimer. Wimer is like just a teeny tiny little, it's a post office and a general store. One of those little one-horse towns. And that'll take you up into the mountains and the forests. Foothill will take you to the city of Grants Pass, which will lead you to the coast and more mountains and forests. The other side of the river, one way will take you into Rogue River, the other way will take you into Gold Hill, which of course both are more mountains and forests. North River Road takes you into Gold Hill and more mountains and forests, and so you can leave town any direction and you're away from people, away from society. You can just get out in the mountains. They got awesome roads for riding motorcycles, awesome mountain, like you can either got paved mountain trails like the one that goes all the way up to one of the reservoirs up north, or you can take the Forest Service trails, the gravel roads and fire roads and whatnot if you're on a good adventure bike. And there's an infinite amount of stuff to explore. We are gonna head on up here and see a high school buddy of mine that I was talking about the other video. That is Adam. He was working on a house up here. We'll see if he's in. Well then, next stop for me is going to be the gas station. And then we are going to head on out to... We're going to head on out to Wimer. This is what is known as the Evans Valley. Still part of the Rogue River Valley, but it kind of differentiates itself from like the city of Rogue River. We're coming into the town of Wimer. Like I was saying earlier, Wimer is one of those little one-horse towns. Like there's like people at the gas station there. This is Covered Bridge Road. So named because at the end of it is a covered bridge. One of the few remaining operational covered bridges. Albeit, it has been rebuilt. I think it fell down in a windstorm like 5 or 6 years ago. Something like that. And the community got together and rebuilt it. And here it is. The town of Wimer. This is all of it. The entire town. Just like a general store, and that's pretty much it. There's the fire department. Now, out here in Wimer is where I cut my teeth on bikes. Riding around on little Honda trails and PW80s, and most of the Evans Valley is extremely rural. And yeah, that's definitely coming down now. Well, since my camera is a Hero 5 with the external adapter, I don't have, you know, it's not set up for water resistance right now. So rather than risk my camera and other such equipment, I am going to call it a day and bid you guys adieu, as well. This is my old stomping ground, my hometowns between Wimer and Rogue River. You know, I spent most of my life up until 16 when I got my license and was able to escape to the bigger cities. The big city. Grants Pass, Medford, which by, you know, the rest of the world's consideration, they're actually tiny cities, but when you grow up in a place like this, you know, those seem like such big places. Look, I actually came prepared today. I got a clear visor and my yellow lenses in, my yellow glasses on, so I can see better and whatnot. So yeah, if you're looking for fun places to ride, this is it. I'm actually going to take Evans Creek Road back to the city. It follows the Evans Creek here, all the way out through Sam's Valley, and then I'll take it up through Central Point and back into Medford. But you know, this is where it all started for me. Out here running these rural roads and being a rowdy little heathen that I was. Not really. I didn't get into that much trouble when I was younger. So I hope you liked reminiscing with me today. It was fun taking you all back and showing you all the sights to see. I hope you'll join me as I show you guys the rest of where I'm from. There's so much to Southern Oregon. The bottom third or even bottom quarter of the state has just got so much to show, so much to explore, so much to see. And I want you guys to come along, and then maybe it'll pique your interest, and you can come up here and hang out with me, and I'll take you for a ride, and we can have a beer and all that stuff. So if you liked what you saw here today, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and hasn't subscribed, oh, my mouth's getting a little dry. Have to give me some water. Just point it up and open. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. I'm hopefully gonna get at least one of these videos every other week. You know, it takes a little bit to actually get out and ride to all the different places and shoot all the footage and whatnot, but it'll be well worth it. And I got, little rides and moto rants, and once the weather warms up, we'll do a lot more work in the shop. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like about this. It's a whole new format for me and a whole new direction for the channel, and I'd love to have your feedback. And until next time, stay safe, have fun. Until then, peace.